Hi, I'm Gerardo. I'm here with the Mass readings for Monday, October 30th, 2017. Of the 30th week in Ordinary Time, from the Lectionary 479. The first reading is from the book of Romans, chapter 8, verses 12 through 17. Brothers and sisters, we are not debtors to the flesh to live according to the flesh. For if you live according to the flesh, you will die. But if by the Spirit you put to death the deeds of the body, you will live. For those who are led by the Spirit of God are sons of God. For you did not receive a spirit of slavery to fall back into fear, but you received a spirit of adoption, through which we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit himself bears witness with our spirit that we are children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ, if only we suffer with him, so that we may also be glorified with him. The word of the Lord. The Responsorial Psalm. Today's Responsorial Psalm is Psalm 68. The response is, Our God is the God of salvation. Our God is the God of salvation. God arises. His enemies are scattered, and those who hate him flee before him. But the just rejoice and exult before God. They are glad and rejoice. Our God is the God of salvation. The Father of orphans and the defender of widows is God in his holy dwelling. God gives a home to the forsaken. He leads forth prisoners to prosperity. Our God is the God of salvation. Blessed day by day be the Lord, who bears our burdens, God, who is our salvation. God is a saving God for us. The Lord, my Lord, controls the passageways of death. Our God is the God of salvation. Today's Gospel is the Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 13, verses 10 through 17. Jesus was teaching in a synagogue on the Sabbath, and a woman was there who for 18 years had been crippled by a spirit. She was bent over, completely incapable of standing erect. When Jesus saw her, he called to her and said, Woman, you are set free of your infirmity. He laid his hands on her, and she at once stood up straight and glorified God. But the leader of the synagogue, indignant that Jesus had cured on the Sabbath, said to the crowd in reply, There are 6 days when work should be done. Come on those days to be cured, not on the Sabbath day. The Lord said to him in reply, Hypocrites! Does not each one of you on the Sabbath untie his ox or his ass from the manger and lead it out for watering? This daughter of Abraham, whom Satan has bound for 18 years now, ought she not to have been set free on the Sabbath day from this bondage? When he said this, all his adversaries were humiliated, and the whole crowd rejoiced at all the splendid deeds done by him. The Gospel of the Lord. Some thoughts on today's scripture. First, this woman's appearance makes a statement in itself. She was crippled and bent over. This condition robbed her of her dignity and her rightful place in the community. She was unable to stand up straight and to face the world. Once again, Jesus' intervention made all the difference for her. Immediately she stood up straight and began a whole new way of being and living. As a person of faith, she praised God, who had given her freedom again. Jesus also wants to free us of any improper impediments, ligatures, or restrictions. He does not ask us what we can bear, what we are used to, or what we can settle for. He wants to restore each of us to our proper stature and to let us see as he sees. Second, the synagogue leader asserts that the Sabbath is not an appropriate time for God to manifest his compassion and mercy. Jesus, on the other hand, claims that God's actions cannot be dictated to or restricted by humans. God's mercy and healing know no limits of time or place if we but turn to God in a spirit of trust. Thanks for listening. Have a blessed day.